Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope you care. So share, and yes, please sound off in the comment section below. Wow, when I tell you the fantastic news keeps rolling in, when I tell you that the athletes are putting in the work, when I tell you that the athletes are getting the results, wow. Absolutely fantastic tracking. So, more great news, and we're gonna go straight to our national 800-meter record holder, Navasky Anderson, because listen, he is on one for 2025. Now, Navasky Anderson yesterday set another national record to attain the automatic qualifying standard for Tokyo 2025, and Tokyo meaning the World Championships. Yay! Huge shout out and congratulations to Navasky Anderson. So he entered the 800 meters at the Sunset Tour in Los Angeles and clocked a new national record, as I said. And if it's a new national record, means it's a new personal best. 1 minute 44.40 seconds. Now, Jackies, if you're wondering what the qualification standard was, it is 1 minute 44.50 seconds. So, yep, he has now attained the qualifying standard by a tenth of a second. Fantastic running from Navasky Anderson. As I said, big shout out and congratulations to him. But yeah, man, he's definitely been on one for 2025 because, as I said at the top of the video, this is his second time since 2025 shattering his own national record. Earlier on, he broke the record running a 1 minute 44.61 seconds. So, trackies, amazingness coming from Navasky Anderson. And of course, he would have taken that 1 minute 44.61 originally was a 1 minute 44.70 seconds set back in 2023. So, having a fantastic year here in 2025. And as I said, attaining the automatic standard for the World Championships. Yeah, enjoying him 100%. Now, what I noticed when he broke the record back in June was he wasn't his typical front running self from the beginning of the race. No, this seems like a kind of a new strategy as far as I'm concerned, because typically in his races he would try to be at the front, from the beginning and then try to hold on, for the rest of the race, through the line. But it seems as though now he's kind of settling in the middle of the pack and then, going for it maybe 600 meters. And his race where he ran that 1 minute 44.40 seconds, attaining the automatic qualification standard, he was in the lead at 600 meters and he said, hey, I felt good and I knew I wasn't going to lose this race. So it seems as though he has this new strategy going for him, trackies, and it is absolutely working. So I'm really happy for Navasky Anderson. A lot of our athletes missing qualification standards when they did enter at the National Senior Championships, but coming into these meetings post that are getting those times, and we're really happy to see all these athletes stepping up. Again, they're putting in the work, so all we can do is support them. And as I said, huge congratulations to Navasky Anderson again. Can't wait to see what happens when he gets to the World Championships. So you don't know, say Navasky Anderson is a bag of excitement. Love his energy, absolutely. So I'll be looking forward to him representing Team Jamaica at the Tokyo 2025 World Championships. Now, I do have some other events that I want to wrap up that happened at the Ed Murphy Classic as well. So I'm going to be jumping into that. Now, let's start with the women's 100-meter hurdles, where we had Yannick Thompson taking part in the finals for that event, and she placed fourth, where she ran a 12.65 seconds. Now, this was done in a positive 2.1 meters per second win, meaning that Alicia Johnson, who clocked a 12.27 seconds, this time unfortunately was not a personal best for her, but great going for her. Really strong race. Not the best start, but she came through towards the end of the race to take over from a Christina Clemens and win. Christina Clemens was second, 12.39, and Destiny Huven was third, 12.4. 12.45. Just want to note that Alicia Johnson earlier on in the heats did clock a 12.32. So she's definitely rounding into shape perfectly. The USA Championships comes up at the end of the month. So that women's 100-meter hurdles is going to be quite interesting. And based on signs, track is it may not go how we originally thought it would have went earlier on in the season, because athletes like a Grace Stark that were dominating all season, and of course the Olympic champion Masai Russell, aren't looking their best right now, especially Grace Stark. I was really shocked recently seeing her not execute her best race and, hit a hurdle and finish down the pack. And I was like, oh my gosh, not the time to be having, not your best races. But let's see what happens with these athletes, because that race is going to be one to watch at the USA Championships. Absolutely. Now let's jump over into the men's 800 meters. No, Navasky Anderson, he's our national record holder. And as I told you at the top of the video, he came out and he banged out the automatic standard for attending the World Championships. And Tyrese Taylor incidentally beat him at the National Senior Championship. So he's the national champion, and he entered the 800 meters at the Ed Murphy Classic looking to see if he would be able to attain the standard. He was second in the race, where he ran a 1 minute 46.46 seconds. So he still has some going to go to get to that standard. Keep it up, Tyrese Taylor. We're loving, what we're seeing, more and more men getting into the 800 meters and trying to also attain that automatic standard. So all he can do, try to enter some more meetings leading up before the cutoff point, the cutoff date, which is sometime in August, Tracky. So let's see what happens for Tyrese Taylor. Of course, we're wishing him all the best in his endeavors. Now let's jump over to the women's 400 meters, where we had Shanique Walker in that event, and she clocked a 55.30 seconds to finish fourth in the women's 400 meter hurdles. Now for the men's pro 400 meters, this one was quite interesting. We had Delano. He's also in search of the qualification standard for the men's 400 meters, and that standard is a 44.85 seconds. And at the National Senior Championships, I believe he clocked a 44.91 seconds. So he's just shy of that particular time and entered the Ed Murphy Classic looking to see if he would be able to attain the standard. He was third in the race, where he clocked a 45.00 seconds. So big running from him. Didn't get the standard in this race, but he has more events that he can enter, and I'm looking forward to see him, step up his game and get to that time before the deadline. Now, I want to point out that Quincy Wilson, who won this men's 400 meters, is an under 20 athlete. I believe still under 18, if I'm not mistaken. And he clocked a new under 18 world best. Track is 44.10 seconds. As I say, what now? He shot out of those blocks like a rocket, and I was like, okay, please tell me what is going on with this young man. Will he be able to hold on for the end of the race? And track is, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me stop underestimating this young man. He's crazy. He's phenomenal. And he ran a 44.10 seconds. So great running from him. As I said, new record for under 18, for an under 18 athlete. So yeah, I can't wait to see what he does at the USA Championships. Let's see if he can actually upset, some of the top figures in the men's 400 meters. Definitely an event to look out for, especially from this perspective, seeing such a young athlete come in and possibly, do better than seasoned professionals, right? So let's see how that goes. Bryce Denham is second in the race, and he ran at 44.39 seconds. Now jumping on over to the women's 400 meters, we had Leah Anderson in this race, and also Joanne Reed. Leah Anderson was second, and she clocked a 50.90 seconds. And Joanne Reed was sixth, and she clocked a 52.95 seconds. For Joanne Reed, I thought her first 200 was really, really good, but her last 200, she faded, and she ended up sixth in the race. However, Leah Anderson, what a fantastic race. She's been looking really, really strong all season, I have to say. And, just missing out. She just missed out on the national championship, team, at least, finishing in top three. And here, she's running a a really, really strong race. She definitely, took the running to Britton Wilson, who took the win with a 50.54 seconds. She was right there, fighting tooth and nail for that win. So great going from Leah Anderson. I'm looking at her for a strong leg, especially when I think about that 4x4 for Team Jamaica. So congratulations to her. No, she was looking for a fantastic performance. I thought this was a really, really solid run from her. Time not as quick, because clearly we're looking for times, at this particular point heading to sub 50. But here what? I liked what I saw from her. I love her fight. I love her vigor. And I definitely think that she's just going to continue to improve and continue, to represent herself very, very strongly. So great going from Leah Anderson. Congratulations to her as well. Let's jump into the men's 100 meters, because this one was absolutely spicy. We had Ryiem Ford, who finished fourth at the National Senior Championships, and Bryan Level, I believe, was seventh in that racetrack, is lining up in the men's 100 meters, making things quite spicy, as I said, because the thought process is out there that, at least in my opinion, if the race was not delayed, then Bryan Level would have been able to pull off a monster performance in that men's 100 meters. Didn't happen, right? So it was interesting for me to see how he would match up against some of the men that finished ahead of him, or at least I believe he would have finished ahead of, at the National Senior Championships, right? So in this race, taking the win, trackies, on the outside, the collegiate Davante Howell. He's from the Cayman Islands, and he ran a 10.07 seconds. But hear this, Bryan Level was actually second with the same time, only separated by a thousandth of a second. So it was that close, trackies. And I swear to you, Bryan Level and Ryiem Ford did not see Davante Howell on the outside. They were actually, congratulating each other, thinking that, hey, one of them took the race, you know what I mean? Whilst it was actually, Davante Howell on the outside. But I did think it was a really, really strong race from Bryan Level. Not the best start, but his execution, throughout the race, his phases, I thought, were really, really good. He was lifting, really good in this race as well. So pretty excited for him, going forward when it comes to him competing, right? So let's see, how he progresses. And it kind of makes things very interesting as well for the relays, because I do have Bryan Level as well in my back pocket for that possible third leg for the 4x100 meters. We are entering or re-entering some glory days. I'm happy. I'm excited. Anyway, moving on to Ryiem Ford. Now, he got a fantastic start, and, Bryan Level just overhauled him, towards the end of the race. He ran a 10.09 for third, but I still thought it was a really strong run from Ryiem Ford as well. So yeah, the men are keeping in shape. Love it. All season, haven't really been seeing much from Ryiem Ford, and also he hasn't been running his fastest, but definitely turned up when it mattered most. The National Senior Championships, ran his best race there, ended up being fourth with a sub 10 clocking. That's what he needed, and that's what he got, Tracky. So fantastic for him, and he's continuing, fine form here with that 10.09 seconds. So let us see, how things progress for these Jamaican athletes. I have high hopes when I'm thinking about that men's 4x100 meters. I'm really, really excited. Anyway, Trackies, that is it for this particular update. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on in the next one. Bye.